With Virgin Media, you can build up the entertainment and tear down the price. Switch to Virgin Media today and get superfast broadband and TV for just €49 a month for an awesome 12 months. The sale that stacks up. Now on. See virginmedia.ie and check out how our mobile sales stacks up too.
T's and C's apply. See virginmedia.ie. 12-month contract. Offer ends 27th of February 2019.
Everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from steamingly hot Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank.
And I am Dan.
And coming up today, there's an ark
There's
in
an ark.
Kentucky.
And the Lord said unto Ken Ham, Go forth and build an ark.
Waste my money.
And with his own two bare hands and tools from the Stone Age,
Woo-hoo,
he
did
crafted.
it. He pulled it off.
He crafted an ark.
He pulled it off.
We'll be talking
Can't
about
believe
that.
he did it.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't do it. That's okay.
What do you mean he didn't do it?
Well, we'll talk about that later.
All right.
I'm going to talk to us a little bit about a thing. So I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but
Okay.
there seems to be a problem in the Catholic Church with priests not inappropriately acting inappropriate around children. I don't know if you've heard of that.
What? What is this? What is this, Dan?
Yeah. So there, the Pope at one point commanded all of the dioceses of the Catholic Church to take whatever steps necessary to stop priests from diddling kids.
Oh, dear God, Dan.
So this is actually a really interesting story. A diocese actually took real steps to actually do it. The Archdiocese of Montreal, the Roman Catholic the Archbishop Christian Lepin, I don't know really how to say it. He basically said priests don't get to be with kids alone ever.
Really?
Yeah.
We have to be chaperoned?
Yeah.
That's pathetic.
I think it's amazing.
No, it's great that he's done it. It's pathetic that that's what it takes.
Well, hey.
That these men who've chosen to be men of God, so to speak,
Yeah.
right, and lead congregations of not just adults but also children,
Right.
who are entrusted, who are placed in a position of power, that they can't respect that own or that very position.
Well,
I mean, come on.
But here's the thing. For decades now, the church has basically said, rely on that. Rely on us being all good people and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And it just doesn't work. Finally, someone's actually taken a concrete step. Like, they finally just said, look, these fuckers are just going to fuck kids. We're going to stop it. We have to stop it.
There's no other recourse. We cannot get our priests to stop
You can't make these
molesting
guys
children
stop
on their own.
molesting children. So
You can't tell them to stop.
right, you can't
That's what I'm
move them
saying.
away.
It's fucking pathetic. That's my point.
Yes, it's true. But at least someone took a step. That's what's shocking to me is
Well,
that
I applaud the fact that somebody finally has decided to actually do something about this.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
Why not actually, I don't know, let priests have sex with
Other adults.
consenting adults?
Well, that would just be crazy.
Because then, I don't know.
I don't know. The question is if this catches on. Oh shit.
What were you going to say?
Can't believe I was going to go there.
No, you have to.
If this actually catches on, will there be less incentive to become a priest, is what I was going to say. That's a terrible thing to say. They're going to lose all of those potential pedophiles from the priesthood. Oh, it's so sad for the priests.
Ugh, keep your kids off of Craigslist in Montreal.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, there you go, though.
They got to find it somewhere.
Oh, my God. Oh, it's a good thing we don't believe in hell. Okay, go on to another story before we just
Whatever.
ruin
Dan.
ourselves.
Jesus Christ, Dan. That's what this show's all about, Dan. Right there. That's it.
It's true.
All right. Dan, you've heard of the Mormon Church, right? Mm-hmm. Folks called Mormons.
I used to be one.
And that they, and you know that they like to send their young men and women out into the world to teach and bring people to the gospel.
Yes.
And, well, one of the places in this world that they send them is Russia.
Yeah.
I remember when Russia opened to missionaries back in the, what would it have been, early 90s?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I have friends who were sent to that mission who were very excited.
Amongst the first, I'm sure.
Yes.
You know. Well, I guess Russia is has since then has never been the most receptive or accommodating of nations to outside proselytizers. It's not just the Mormons that they have problems with. They also have issues with the Jehovah's Witness. And what's the other one who's probably over there? They also kind of hassle Muslim organizations, I guess.
Okay.
That are trying to set up. They probably actually reject all that, Saudi Arabian money to build mosques and whatnot. That kind of shit, which probably we do too, but whatever. So they're actually cracking down on proselytizing at this point.
Okay.
And there's a new measure which takes place on July 20th. So it's coming up. That limits proselytizing by religious groups outside of officially designated sites. So they're basically going to have proselytizing zones where you can go, and that's where you can talk to people.
Reason number one to move to Russia. Why am I mean...
Yeah, but,
like I said, it's only number one. I haven't found reasons, any other reasons that I want to move to Russia.
Beautiful architecture, an amazing rich history.
Again, reason number one to move to Russia. At least I won't be bothered by the God botherers.
Amazing radioactive sites to visit.
That's true. Bring your Geiger counter. Except that Chernobyl's actually in Ukraine.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was a Soviet thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, Soviets. You lost your best. Russia lost its best nuclear tourist site.
Yeah. Oh,
to
disaster
Ukraine.
Tourism.
Disaster tour. It's great.
Anyway, I mean, please don't forget, though, Dan. You're like, oh, wow, it would be amazing for that one reason. The Orthodox Church, Orthodox Christians, right? They're basically enshrined as sort of the Church of
Which
State.
Which is weird because the USSR was like forcing atheism on everybody, or so I thought.
Oh, when that pendulum
swung back,
it went the other way.
It swung back with goofy hats and beards attached.
Yeah,
that's
kind of the Russian way, isn't it?
Yeah,
at least the goofy hat part
and beards. They love a good facial hair.
Here's some statistics about the Mormon Church in Russia.
Okay.
First of all, let's remind everybody that Russia is a country of 143 million people.
Not small.
Not small, right? So the LDS Church has 100 congregations in that size of country and 22,000 members.
That's shocking that they have that much, considering the fact that they're asking Russians to give up vodka. Like... It's amazing. Like, the Mormon Church is so contrary to like everything about Russian culture that I know, which is mostly vodka.
Here's the deal about Mormon Church. It's contrary to most cultures anywhere.
Right. Well, which is kind of a selling point for them. Like, they love their counterculture status.
Yeah.
It's why they stuck with it's why the word of wisdom, the very rules that make them not able to drink coffee or alcohol or whatever, are enshrined in their rules, because they weren't originally rules.
Right.
The word of wisdom was not a rule. It was just this idea. It was so that Joseph Smith could get his wife off of his back about all the gentlemen spitting, chewing tobacco in church.
Yeah, it was a suggestion.
It was a concept, and
Yeah.
he didn't, and Joseph Smith didn't obey it, and
No.
Brigham Young didn't obey it.
No.
By the way, have you heard about this? One of our great distilleries here in Utah.
Yeah.
There aren't that many, but High West is actually a fantastic distiller and blender of whiskeys. They're going to be releasing on our state's day, the 24th of July, which is Pioneer Day here in the fine land of Utah.
Right.
They're going to be releasing a whiskey available only at the distillery, not available outside
Ooh.
of the distillery itself.
I hope we're getting paid for this plug.
It's gonna be Brigham Young's own recipe,
Is it the Valley Tan?
the Valley Tan.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think that's amazing. I think
Yeah.
that's so funny. And they're using like it's a wheat whiskey. They're using like Utah wheat. That's anyway. I just think it sounds cool.
Well, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Aside from all that.
Yeah.
Oh,
we have to go back to Russia.
we don't really have to. We don't. But boy, it sounds like a sort of a wretched place to be as a Mormon missionary.
Oh, yeah, not a good. Yeah, you're not gonna have.
Because, I mean, like that's way bigger population than Italy, and
Yeah.
we had way more members than that,
Right.
And way more congregations.
and
than that.
Italy, by rights, shouldn't
so-
have any.
Shouldn't have any, but nonetheless, I know how sparse that was and how just like minuscule the numbers felt.
Right.
Right. And so it's just got to be like, there's just no one.
Oh, yeah,
There's no one.
yeah. You're stuck in gray, like Soviet era architecture all around you. So, like, it's just. I mean, my view of Russia, I've never been there, but other than the onion domed cathedrals, it's gray. It's a gray place. That's my thought.
It's possible. I don't know, man.
But either way, it's gray for a Mormon missionary. It's not going to be a good time.
Oh, I bet they're so excited when they get that call. Are you kidding me? I'm going to Russia.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny living in Salt Lake City. How like when you meet someone who speaks a foreign language, 9 times out of 10 you know exactly why. It's kind of amazing though here because everybody speaks a foreign language, and it's some random thing like somebody who has no business speaking. You know, somebody who's of Danish and Scottish descent speaks Russian.
Yeah.
Or someone you speak Italian for
Right.
no reason other than
Right.
Mormons.
Right.
Yeah, that's the one reason I wish I had gone on a mission. I wish I was fluent in another language. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, you could have learned to speak Cantonese.
Right. Well, there is that. There is that. You just wait until you get your mission call. If it's a cool place, you go. If it's not a cool place, you're like, oh, never mind. I'm not Mormon anymore. Not like they pay for it. You still have to pay for it.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the worst
I
way
had
to
a
live.
life savings. Dan.
Gone. Right. Well, there you go. Your 19-year-old life savings.
Hey,
Yeah.
I had saved up. I think the cost of a mission at that time was about $10,000.
Uh-huh.
I had $5,000 of it in the bank.
Holy cow. For a 19-year-old.
19-year-old.
That's not
that-
small shakes.
That was working, minimum wage jobs.
Right. Oh my gosh. You poor bastard. The amount of fun things you could have done with that money.
Well, I could have. That would help pay for college.
Well,
let me
yes.
tell you.
Yes, indeed.
So,
Okay. Well, I'm going to move on. Have you heard of this fella, Donald Trump? Donald J. Trump? I don't know why when he gets into politics he has to use the J all of a sudden.
well, because DonaldTrump.com was taken.
Well, there is that. That's true. That's
So you
right.
needed Donald J. Trump.
Anyway, this guy, our presumptive Republican candidate for president, there was a bit of a kerfuffle this last week when he tweeted an image of Hillary Clinton, his adversary in this
And
election,
presumptive next president of the United States.
right? He tweeted a picture of her that says that sort of. It's a picture of her with a background of money, of American bills behind her.
Really?
And
Where'd she get that photo taken?
Right? It's almost as if they photoshopped that in.
What?
I don't know.
What? That wasn't just the backdrop at an event?
Right? No.
One of these Wall Street events that she went to?
Yeah, they
had their photos
They
taken
probably
in front
do that.
of money.
Of course they do that. Everybody get your photo and take it taken in front of the money. It's real money. And then in front of that was a star graphic with the words "most corrupt candidate ever." Now,
Wow. Oh, okay.
This wouldn't have
Quite
caused
the
This wouldn't have caused much stir, except that the star has 6 points, and when you combine a 6-pointed star with a whole lot of money, you're dog whistling to people who hate Jews. That's just what you're doing. You're doing that, and if you're not doing that, then you're proving what a big fucking idiot you are.
I love that one of the first defenses of this was, well, sheriff stars have 6 points.
Yes, Trump did go into the. I just thought it looked like a sheriff star.
Yeah, sheriff star. I mean,
Because what you really want your opponent to be associated with is a Wild West sheriff. That totally makes sense. Yes, he definitely.
sheriff stars though do have one detail that a standard Star of David does not, which is each point has a little circle on it. Like you look up a sheriff star,
Right.
there's a little circle at every single point.
Yeah,
It's like it's a star.
Is there a
but
reason
there's-
for that?
I have no clue, but I looked them up just to I was like, really? Because in my head, it was actually seven points on a sheriff star.
I think actually they do that sometimes.
And so I just looked up sheriff badge.
A heptagram,
and
if you will.
most of them came up as 6-pointed.
Right.
But
In the Old
all
West.
of them, and there was also a 5-pointed one that came up. All of them, including the 5-pointed one, they just have this little Western detail.
You know why?
Of this little.
It's so that it can't be used as a throwing star. It's not
probably true.
It's so that no one ever weaponizes a sheriff's badge.
Just rips it off and.
Oh, you got me, sheriff. I knew you ran out of bullets. I didn't realize you still had the star.
God, they should barb the end.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
just you have to pull it out and
Ugh.
rip all that flesh.
Put another tiny little star on the end of on the tip of each.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, yeah. So Trump fell under a lot of criticism for anti-Semitism.
What?
Which is funny because so he did this long impassioned speech. It was amazing, actually. The video of it's ridiculous. Where he's like, "No, they're the ones that are racially profiling because it's just a star and blah blah blah." It's just like, if you're so stupid about America's about the cultural climate in our country that you don't. Next he's gonna post a thing with a guy with a white hood and 2 holes for eyes, and he's going to be like, it was just a ghost. Mm-hmm. What are you talking? KKK? I don't know. It looked like just Casper to me.
Well, this is the guy who, if you recall, on Cinco de Mayo, tweeted a picture of himself eating a taco salad, wishing all the Hispanics a happy Cinco de Mayo.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Not knowing.
Oh.
Yeah, he's clearly. Yeah, and so of course, what's amazing is his staff, as soon as they realized what they had done and that people had caught on, they pulled the picture, replaced it with, I think, a circle, and he was like, "I wish they hadn't pulled it. I would defend it. I wish they'd left it up. I think it's awesome. I think it's just a star," which I'm sure will play to his audience. That's exactly what they want to hear.
Do you think? Yeah, exactly. But do you think that there's anybody else in control of Donald Trump's Twitter account other than Donald J. Trump himself? Do you think there's actually people who?
I hear what you're saying. No, if this weren't an image, if this were just a text tweet, I would believe that it was just him.
You don't think he knows how to add images?
He doesn't know how to add images. he doesn't have. It's not like the man has Photoshop. He doesn't know how to create. This was clearly just created by somebody, and then his staff just threw it out there. But I'm sure they.
You know what? I would love it if he had sat around all afternoon making that.
he's on Microsoft Paint. And then he's got a star thing, and he's deciding how big the star.
He's actually quite the whiz at Photoshop.
Yeah, exactly.
All the best. You do the. I can't do it.
I can't do it either. I got the best Photoshop skills. I got the most impressive Photoshop skills. Nobody can Photoshop better than me. I'm the best Photoshopper.
So
Crooked Hillary. Crooked, Jew-loving Hillary.
Stupid Trump.
He's not a smart man. He's got the best brain though. Just
with all the best words.
he's got the best. Yeah,
He knows all the best words.
Exactly.
He said that,
He doesn't.
right?
Yeah, he did.
I know all the best words.
I did. Look, I know. I got all the best words. I'm the best. I don't use them. I don't. I choose. I opt out of the best words, but I got them.
They're ready. All right, Dan.
Yeah.
So the fallout from Brexit continues.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yes.
This would be Great
Brexit,
Britain
the British exit.
deciding not
Brexit.
but deciding accidentally that they don't want to be in the European Union anymore.
Tripping and falling all over themselves.
Whoops.
And now they have to do it.
Right.
Now they have to.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Anyway. Well, apparently, this the whole vote on Brexit has empowered social conservatives in the UK to start calling for equality to be rolled back. Since clearly the nation has spoken that we don't, like outsiders.
Right.
And this whole experiment into the secular
multiculturalism,
isn't working. So we need to go back to our Christian roots and deny marriage to gay people. And we need to start discriminating again.
Right.
And, quote, as a nation, we have turned our backs on God, on God's laws, but we should not be surprised given that we, God's people, have not spoken clearly of Jesus and his truth and lived in obedience to him. In our nation, we have called good evil and evil good.
Does that mean we white people? Is that the we that we're referring to?
Look at that face.
Ooh, white and delightsome.
No, white.
Yeah, that's true. Not very delightsome.
I wouldn't say she's delightsome.
I just think, I think about here's the nice thing about Brexit. Brexit has done a great service to the United States of America.
Oh, how so?
I remember back when do you remember when George W. Bush declared war on Iraq for literally no reason at all? Mm-hmm. And then and like those of us who were paying attention were like, wait, what the fuck? Why is this happening? And then Tony Blair from Great Britain was like, yes, we also declare war on Iraq for no reason.
Right.
And I was just befuddled. Like, why would Tony Blair go along with our idiot president in doing this? And now, through Brexit, I understand that moment. Because I hadn't realized that they are just as stupid as we are. Like, it had never occurred to me. Maybe I was blinded by the posh accents. I don't know what it was, but it had never occurred to me that they are just as redneck as we are. They are just as idiot. They are just as dumb as the Americans.
Yeah.
And now I know.
It's a special relationship, Dan.
Oh, it like Short Bus special. Like that kind of special is the relationship of
mother and child, Dan.
Oh my God, we're such idiots. And they're in it with us. We're all on the same arc together.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the whole thing was Tony Blair like pledged allegiance to Bush.
Yeah.
And was just like, wherever you go, I will follow.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I think he sang the song. It was, yeah, that whole moment was like, I just did not get it. And now, you guys are just as bumbling as we are. You just do it with a posher accent.
Yeah.
It makes sense now.
Don't trust the accent, Dan.
No.
Or Americans need to get over that whole...
They have a better...
That's somehow better.
Yeah. We
know?
totally do. And now we have ample evidence why.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's actually one of my major beefs, because you'll hear it on like public media from time to time that there'll be like, for the underwriting message or whatever,
right,
a British accent will come on.
Yeah.
On the media, it comes from WNYC. I listen to that one. Mm-hmm. And there'll be a woman who's like, talking about supporting the podcast, and she's got a British accent. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no! American voices on American radio.
Oh, wow. You're getting xenophobic now.
No, it's more that it's not that attitude at all. It's that there's this that for whatever reason, even like higher ups in public media,
right,
will, like, when it's time to ask for money, they're very happy to throw it to a British voice. Right?
I get
because
it. We still all buy it.
It sounds so.
Wait, that British person thinks it's okay?
Yeah.
Well, it must be all right then.
Must be a sophisticated thing to do.
That's
giving money to WNYC.
My God, that's received pronunciation. It must be true.
I'm sure that's exactly the thought process. In those words.
Hey, Texas?
Sure.
Texas. So recently, a couple weeks ago, we remember how we reported that the U.S. Supreme Court struck down all of Texas's bullshit abortion laws that they had passed about, like, restricting everything in the world. So
it was a great
abortion
day.
Yeah, exactly. They were trying to make everything surrounding abortion illegal so that you couldn't get one, even though they are legal themselves.
Right.
And then that was all struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court.
Okay. What
in the wake of that
possible development happened?
Greg Abbott, their beloved Republican governor, has bypassed the legislature. This is not something that's going through the legislature. He is basically setting a rule that all fetal remains, products of abortion, will have to get basically either buried or cremated as legitimate
though they were
human remains
instead of because are they?
He's offended that they're basically treated like medical waste.
Okay,
they're basically because they're not people.
Right.
These are collections of tissues and cells and whatnot, not humans. But basically he's trying to add a layer of expense and difficulty. Here's the thing, though. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to check myself a little bit here, because the abortion issue is really, really tough. And if you genuinely believe that human beings, and I believe that lots of people genuinely believe that human beings are being killed here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I get being offended that a human being is not treated with dignity at their death.
Right.
So to some extent, like, I get it. It's like that to me makes...
But has he thought this through? What about a woman who takes, medication that induces miscarriage?
What about just a miscarriage?
What about just a miscarriage?
A natural miscarriage.
What is... Really? That has to...
That's a great point. Any miscarried baby should, theoretically, have to be treated the same way.
Right.
So there we go. Thank you, Frank. You've just pointed out this is not about the dignity of a human being.
No.
This is about trying to prevent abortion.
Right. Although a lot of people will mourn that miscarried fetus.
And I don't blame them.
As though it had been a baby that they lost.
Sure. Yeah. I don't blame them. Different people have different views on that, and
but
I'm not going to get.
But if you wanted to have a child,
right,
then that miscarriage is it's a disappointment that you're not going to have the child. So you do mourn the loss of having a baby,
and you mourn plans gone afoul and stuff. Yeah. But some people do feel a connection to this. Yeah. Person that they've started to make, and whatever. I as someone who's never gone through it, I'm not going to be judgmental.
Of course not.
Of any of that stuff. However, if you are claiming that the reason that you're trying to make aborted fetuses have basically funerals, like to make them be treated as human beings, if you're claiming that that's for their dignity, for human dignity, and you're not doing the same thing for miscarriages, it's clear that it's not about that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we've come to. Thank you. I'm so glad that you were here for this, because I've been wrestling with that.
Would you have done this without me?
What, the show? Yeah, I haven't told you. I do the occasional one without you.
All right. The Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, Dan.
A very legitimate church.
has a little bit of a tradition with their members.
Sure.
Right.
They have many traditions. Dating back centuries.
One of which is to walk into DMV's, Department of Motor Vehicles.
Right.
And apply for a driver's license.
Yes.
And insist that you are going to wear a colander on your head for the official photo.
A spaghetti strainer, if you will.
Exactly.
Because that has been adopted as part of the official religious attire
yeah.
of the followers of the Church of the FSM.
Exactly. So a woman from the Chicago area walked into her local driver's license issuing office, carrying a colander in her hands. Mm-hmm. And when it came time to take the photo, she puts it on her head.
Okay.
Starts to be mocked and jeered at by staff
yes.
and people in line.
Okay.
Which I hope you realize, yes, that will happen if you're going to go try to do this. And then when she's told that she has to take it off, she says that she wants the photo taken with the colander on her head, quote, to make a point that this is my religion.
To make a point that this is my religion. That's not a great wording.
That's not good. That's not good. So the employees are like, oh, this is a religious issue. Okay, so we have to let her do it. So they let her do it.
Okay.
She walks out with her driver's license with the photo.
Oh, okay.
On the ID.
So they allowed it.
They allowed it to happen.
She got out all as well.
A couple weeks pass.
Yeah.
She gets a letter from the state saying that the photo was incorrect and her license will be canceled unless she gets a new picture taken by July 29th.
Oh, dear.
So, agency spokesman Dave Drucker said that she should not have been allowed to wear the strainer on her head in the first place, and we are looking into why this was done.
Oh, okay.
He says that the state does allow citizens to wear religious headdress in licensed photos. Muslim women, for example, may wear hijabs.
Okay.
As long as their faces are visible.
Right.
But they are not going to make an exception for Pastafarians.
Oh.
Because it almost looks like Pastafarians are a mockery of religion.
What?
It almost
How dare you,
like
sir?
That might be the case.
How dare you?
But the problem here is that she didn't walk. This is a ruse, and you have to hold it up, and this is an act. You have to believe it, and you have to do it the whole time you're in the DMV.
Yeah, you have to
walk in with it on your head. It is mandatory that you wear this, right?
Yeah.
This is the rule. You have to wear this head. It is religious in nature, and you are required to wear it.
If you're going to do it right, get some pictures of the colander on your head onto your Facebook feed weeks before this happens.
Those should be the only photos there.
Right.
Okay. Because here's the deal. If it's not required for you to wear it at all times,
right,
then what's your argument for that it
has to be in the picture?
Letting a woman wear a hijab on her driver's license photo is because she's not ever, supposedly, she's never going to be in public without it on.
Right.
So, so that's already just how she looks, right?
Yeah.
So what's the big deal?
Right.
Because you can see her face and her hair's covered. Oh, big whoop, right?
Right.
But
if a man wants to wear, if a Jewish man wants to wear a yarmulke because he always wears a yarmulke, that's okay too.
I would assume it would be,
yeah.
And you'd barely see it.
Right.
Right. In the case of a yarmulke. So she did it wrong.
You just did it wrong. Now there are a couple of Utahns that have this. Did you know that?
Yeah, there's a porn star down in St. George, right?
There's a few. As a matter of fact, if you Google Flying Spaghetti Monster colander, you'll see some delightful ID pictures.
Yeah. I love the knit one.
Yes.
I can't remember who did that one.
Yeah. There's some really fun ones. Here's the thing. Yeah, it's a joke, but the great part about the Flying Spaghetti Monster, the whole point of the concept of the Flying Spaghetti Monster and the church thereof, is that you can't tell the difference between a joke and a real thing.
Right.
And who are you to tell me that there is one? You don't get to decide whether if I don't get to decide that your religion's a joke, you don't get to decide that mine's a joke.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. But yeah, it's tricky. You got to play it right,
You gotta
man.
buy in.
You got to play it right.
100%.
This lady from Texas, this may be fake. But there's a picture of one here. I'm going to show you she's just this is a woman in her probably 60s or who
looks like the maid from the Brady Bunch.
with a frown on her face and a colander on her head. Delightful. Anyway, good luck, Pastafarians out there. If you really want to, go ahead and try and get that on your.
God, I would never.
Well, no,
I wouldn't. Because you would have to waltz into the place wearing it.
Did you ever hear
the whole
about
time?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that. I don't care what anybody thinks of me. If they make fun of me in line, I'm fine with that.
Here's what the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster needs to adopt as an official mandate, as a belief, which is for photos that are meant to go onto some sort of identification card. You are commanded to wear it.
Yeah. And maybe they did. I don't know.
Have they?
That would be smart.
Then this girl just didn't do her research.
Right.
And
that's exactly what they should do. That it's not required in life. It's just government ID
photos.
Just government ID. We require it.
It's a very closely held religious belief of theirs.
Right. Yeah. Maybe that's true. I don't know. Anyway. The whole point is that it's a goof. It's a goof. But don't tell me it's a goof. I tell you if it's a goof, and if I don't, then it's not.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you've got a colander on your head and you'd like to tell us about it, you can do so by writing into us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah, we like that. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click like. Or if you can't, if you're not out, if you're worried that your friends will hate you, if you like an atheist-themed thing, do this.
You can go on Facebook and search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge.
Yeah. It's great.
Request to join.
It's a closed group. It doesn't say the word atheist anywhere on it, and you can just become part of a good community.
Yeah.
Hey, Franklin, do you we've been talking about a thing for a few weeks now. It's just a little thing called lootcrate.com.
Yeah.
We're just going to briefly mention it. Because we get money if you guys sign up for Loot Crate when through our little thing.
Yeah.
LootCrate.com/TGIAtheist. You get cool stuff. You get the nerd stuff.
T-shirts.
You get the geek
paraphernalia.
stuff. Yeah, and it's all
legal paraphernalia.
Yeah, well, there's that too. You might use it illegally. I don't know. But yeah, T-shirts. You get way more than you pay for every week or every month. Sent to your home.
Sure.
And it's just cool stuff. It's just, it's either comic book stuff or it's Star Trek stuff or Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Or, just cool stuff. And your whole family can just
enjoy in the fun.
Have fun and it helps us out. So if you go to lootcrate.com/TGIAtheist, you can sign up. If you've been thinking about signing up, try it for a few months. See if you like it. It would be great.
Be awesome.
And that's all we have to say about that.
Yeah, so now we're going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
And we're going to listen to Glenn Beck.
I believe his full name is Glenneth Tiberius Beckwith.
He draws a nice little comparison between him and some noted historic figures.
I think totally valid comparisons. He makes these very valid comparisons.
So the first question is, which box are you in? Are you in the leader box? I don't even know how you get there, but you have it in you. You know the evil of communism, and it doesn't matter if you stand alone. I read a deal in Town Hall today about me, how we get Glenn back onto the Trump bandwagon. And
no, it was Can we allow Glenn to get out of his never? Can we find a way?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But the last.
No, it does.
The last paragraph is what made me laugh out loud, and that was
Only one paragraph of that article?
because it was eye roll. I skimmed it, but the last paragraph made me laugh out loud, and that was, it may be easy for Beck to take the never Trump road. But it's harder to vote for him. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, you are clueless. You want to talk about the bliss of illusion.
Wow.
You want the hard road. You stand up when the entire world is against you. That's the hard road. That's the road that Reagan and Thatcher and John Paul took. They took the hard road. That's the road that Nelson Mandela and Gandhi and Martin Luther King took when the entire world was against them. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have brought up Town Hall. You shouldn't have added extra stuff into it, Stu.
Jeez.
Nelson Mandela. You know what? I agree with him.
Oh?
That Nelson Mandela, Gandhi, or Martin Luther King would probably not want Trump. I'm going to agree with him that he is in that same bandwagon on that particular point.
And maybe just that one point.
Maybe that may be the only way we can compare Trump to or back to Gandhi.
To Gandhi.
And,
Yeah.
But he's sure happy to be in that boat.
Oh, he was glowing.
Oh
in the
yeah.
video.
Oh yeah.
He just couldn't believe.
Well, you cannot make a Christian and especially a Mormon happier than if you put them in the position where it's them against the world. If you put them in the position where they are the victims of a global conspiracy against them.
Oh, Jesus
And
Christ.
they're just fighting for truth and righteousness.
Yeah.
And man, you can't make them happier than that.
I know.
If he would, although what's great about this is the world's not against him, but he still gets to feel that feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Because guess what? There's a lot of us that don't want Trump.
Yeah, well, what's funny is, so I looked up the article that I was referencing.
Oh, yeah?
While we were listening to it. The actual headline is, can we give Glenn Beck a way out of his no Trump vow?
Okay.
It's basically just like, he's an idiot. How do we help him out of his never Trump vow, and let him save face? Is really all this article's about.
Oh no!
But of course, no.
He turned that into something it wasn't. Oh,
What? How could that
poor
be?
Glenn Beck.
Oh,
I just feel for the man.
He's so put upon. We had some folks write into us, so that's nice, and even call into us.
Yeah. Should we do the call in that gets cut off?
Oh, sure.
You can lead into an email?
Yeah, what this did, what happened was that the call got cut off, and then she wrote into us, and so I can complete her call through the miracle of email.
All right, then I'm going to play the first part of this.
Okay.
Hey, Frank and Dan. I'm going to try to make this short, but I can't make any promises. You guys are going to be my confession booth today. Last week, you guys asked if any of us had stories about demons or ghosts, and growing up in a charismatic Christian family with a mom who was very enthused by spiritual warfare, I have no shortage of demon stories. But the one that stands out the most was from when I was 15 years old, and I was helping her for the first time with the deliverance. We got a call at about 2 in.the morning from this person saying that their friend was threatening to commit suicide and they wanted someone to go pray with her. So we went to this woman's house and found her lying on the ground, sobbing, clutching a half-empty bottle of vodka, which tells you a lot about the reality of the events that followed. But I'm told that she levitated. I did not see it because I was locked outside of the house with her adult daughter who had been called by the neighbors because they heard all the screaming. So I was actually locked outside on the porch trying to explain all of this to a person I never met before, which was very awkward. I'm also told that the woman found burn marks on her body and threw up mysterious green goo. But this isn't about those things because I didn't see those things. What I did experience was the voice of the Holy Spirit telling me that the stronghold in this situation, the thing that was keeping the demons there, was this item that the woman collected. So
All right. So now I pick up the story. So,
Yeah.
And by the way, this is interesting because she's using words here that I did not know. Things like she went with her mom to a deliverance, which I guess is their kind of talk for an exorcism.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then and we just heard the word stronghold, which I hadn't heard either. But that's what's keeping the demons there. It's this item, this stronghold item.
Okay.
So
Interesting. Ooh.
she goes on to say, so she got the item, the stronghold. She says, when I said that, it unlocked repressed memories of terrible abuse this woman had suffered at the hands of a since deceased family member. Oh. She said that the person was the reason she collected the item, and that she wanted the item out of her house. So I went to the room and cleansed the house of this collectible. When I once again thought I felt the Holy Spirit telling me to pay special attention to her bedside table. Lo and behold, her deceased family member's wedding ring was in the top drawer, and I threw it away.
Oh.
2 days later, she called, frantic, wondering if by any chance we had seen it, as it was the only material object she had from the person. Of course, I said no, and I felt absolutely terrible about the whole situation ever since. I also threw away a few, what I realized in hindsight, were fairly expensive sex toys. Oh. Yeah. The woman said she felt free afterwards.
Oh, I'm sure.
Which is good.
Yeah,
but
good.
has since become an unstable, raging alcoholic.
Oh, sounds like she was already an unstable, raging alcoholic.
Right. Well, apparently she was not delivered from her demons.
Oh, that's too bad.
Because apparently deliverance isn't an effective treatment program.
No. Instead, she needs to seek professional help.
Probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
maybe check herself in somewhere.
Okay.
Might help.
Yeah, well, thanks for that. The ghost stories, the spooks and specters out there are actually our own psychologies.
Yeah.
Our own psyches are the scariest ghosts of them all.
And these beliefs get in the way of
real help.
proper help.
Yeah, that's no good.
Sucks.
Nate wrote into us, "Hey, Frank and Dan, I've been listening to your 4th of July episode, and the part about God rolling a 10-sided die in heaven to determine whether Dan gets cancer got me thinking." Yeah, we made some D&D jokes. As an avid Dungeons and Dragons player myself, I've gotten used to the idea that horrible stuff happens in-game, and the Dungeon Master is at least partly responsible, but that preventing the horrible stuff would ruin the narrative. It struck me that this is exactly how I used to think about God. He was in charge, but he lets players and NPCs... Do you know what that is?
Non-playing characters?
Okay. That sounds right. We'll go with that.
I don't know.
He lets players and NPCs do what they would for the sake of our personal growth, or in this comparison, quote, the narrative. Of course, the difference is that with when an evil sorcerer wipes out 30,000 innocent people in D&D, no one actually gets hurt.
Right.
While when a natural disaster does the same in the real world, incomprehensible suffering results. So letting everything run its course the way it will, regardless of the suffering and loss that results, is being a good DM, but a bad god. Yes. So thank you, Nate, for that. He also clarified some things about my joke about being a level 4 mage, which you're right, I didn't know what that meant. Apparently, level 4 is not going to help you. You're not going to be able to cast a healing spell as a level 4. That's ridiculous, Dan.
He called you to task for it.
Anyway, do we have another voicemail?
We do have another voicemail.
Let's do that.
Hey, Frank and Dan. This is Katie from Ohio. So I have never seen the Mormon missionaries unless I am listening to your podcast, walking around the neighborhood. I just passed 2 wonderful-looking young folks who are going down the street and waving at every single car that goes by with the biggest dopey grins on their face. It's just so freaking hilarious. I just cracked up. Anyway, I thought you all would enjoy that. All right, have a good one, guys.
Oh, it's so painful.
Worst 2-person parade ever. Yeah,
they were at least doing the
Queen's wave.
Parade wave.
Just elbow, wrist. It's they're just dopey kids trying to do what they think they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I feel nothing but pity for them.
Yeah, it used to be they were 19 and 20-year-olds. Now they're 18 and 19-year-olds.
Oh my gosh, they don't know what
and
they're
they
doing.
just don't know what. They don't have a fucking clue. At least there used to be a good percentage of them that had gone to a year of college.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
gotten out and kind of knew a thing or two about like
Anything.
not being in mom and dad's house, maybe,
Right.
or maybe they'd taken like some sort of class that opened their eyes a little bit. But these kids, just nothing.
Just
They want it. They
noobs
want
to
them
the
out
world.
there, uneducated and
just
with dopey grins.
bright-eyed and dopey grinning. That's their whole gig.
Oh, it's just the worst. I can't even imagine that's how they think.
Go seduce them next time you see them. It'll be that'll be cute. Anyway, we had Bill wrote into us. Hi guys, I for one am totally pissed that GLBTQ people will be able to join Christian Mingle. I have a shirt that reads, "I met my husband on Christian Mingle. I love wearing my shirt to pride marches and other events. Now its irony has been totally destroyed by that court in California."
Oh,
His joke's been ruined, Frank.
oh, it's so sad. I feel so bad for you.
No, I'm with him. I get it. It sucks when you got a shirt that's always going to get laughs,
Yeah.
and then suddenly they just take the rug right out from under you.
Ugh.
Well, the good news, Bill, is that most people don't know that Christian Mingle now has gays, so you can still wear it for a while.
Yeah.
I think you got some time.
Right.
But boy, get to as many prides this year as you can get to. Wherever you're at, go
Get your money's worth.
Yeah, go to prides in others in neighboring states,
Yeah.
so that you can deal with that.
Collect up all those missed years of opportunity.
Yeah, you got to milk that thing. Do we have any donors to talk about?
Yes, we have. Let me see. How many are we looking at here? 3 new patrons on Patreon.
Oh, cool.
So a nice thank you to David, Christopher, and D's Nuts.
Oh, good. Well, as long
That's what he wanted. He wanted me to say OCD's Nuts.
OCD's nuts. Hey, if he's paying, great. I see your nuts. They are lovely. What a fine set of nuts D's are.
Yeah. So there you go.
There you go. We've been trolled, but if they're giving us money, I'm thrilled.
Hey, it was a nice trolling.
Okay,
So,
great.
yeah, thank
and you know
you.
what? If you want to troll us, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to become a Patreon donor and troll us with your name, please feel free to do so. You can go to go to thankgodimatheist.com and click on the Patreon button, and you can become a troll donor just like D's Nuts.
And just remember how much I hate it the whole time you're doing it.
Yeah.
I hate it. I just
Frank will be forced to say whatever you put as your name, and he will just hate it, and I will love it. And so I think that's a great thing to do. Make Frank say stuff.
Why did I say that?
All right. Well, there's been big things happening in Kentucky, Franklin.
Big things indeed, Dan.
Big boat things.
I at this point
Unseaworthy boat things.
I just have to wonder about Ken Ham at this point. What is he compensating for? A
Yeah.
boat that big?
Yeah.
Nobody gets a boat that big.
Unfortunately, we know what he's compensating for. It's for a very lacking religious belief.
Oh,
He's compensating for a belief in something that could not possibly have happened. And so what we're talking about, of course, is the Ark encounter.
Like, it is the most ludicrous hang up in the Bible to be so stuck on this.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's almost as stupid as Ken Ham's beard.
Yeah, they should do a what's this thing called? The Ark encounter?
Yes.
Right? They should have like a parting of the Red Sea encounter. That's what I want.
Yeah. Well, that's just God magic. That's just Jesus magic.
Yeah.
And so, like, you can just...
I've seen stuff.
There's no physics that... I mean...
The wind was blowing and it was a low tide.
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah.
you can come up with something.
Yeah, they usually try to come up with something. But the smart bet for a Christian who's trying to defend the Bible, the smartest bet is not, don't do that.
Right.
Don't try to defend the Bible.
Right.
Certainly not on scientific terms. But the smart bet is to just say, Jesus magic, and then you're done. Your entire argument cannot be dismantled.
Right.
But that's
you build the big boat.
That's not what he's trying to do.
An impossible boat.
He has built a giant ark. It is
full size. It's they didn't scale this thing down.
Well, no, they actually
scale.
scaled it up because they used the highest possible measurement for a cubit. The measurements that we have from the Bible are all measured in cubits, and there's some question as to how big a cubit is, because it's just like, you know, it's the size of a forearm, or maybe it's from the crook of an elbow to the tip of the biggest finger. Like, we don't know what the fuck a cubit really means.
Okay.
So you can so what he's done is fudged up as far as he can do. He's used the biggest possible measure that a cubit could be.
Because he knows the biggest challenge here is where do you put all the animals?
Right, exactly. Everybody who knows anything about there being animals on the earth knows that there's too many to get two of each of them onto a boat.
And what I love is that by making this a literal flood of the entire world, you do have to collect up all of the exotic animals. You have to collect them all up.
It's like Pokemon. You have to collect them all.
If you interpreted it as, it's just a regional flood, but it was their world. You know, if you went that way, right?
Yeah, right.
Then all you have to do is you get some sheep on.
Yeah, you got to collect all of the critters from the Middle East.
Yeah, that's it.
And then it's like, okay. Yeah. I can see how maybe it's a desert region. You got to get like a couple jackals.
Sure.
I'm not sure what else you got to get. I don't know what's there.
Some scorpions.
Right, exactly.
You know, a lot of snakes.
And that's about it.
That's it.
And then you're done.
Not a lot of room needed on that boat.
Right.
So you could have taken the smaller interpretation of the cubit.
But no. We have to get every fucking animal on Earth. Well, no, because we've got Ken Ham, so he says not every species. It doesn't say every species. It says every kind. So the same guy who doesn't believe in evolution believes that kind of means like genus, not species.
Right.
And then all of these subdivisions of that genus happened after the ark.
So large cats... You don't have to get you don't have to get your cheetahs and your lynx and your bobcats and
you just need one
pumas.
You just need one pair of big cats that can then frantically evolve in 4,000 years into the variety that we have today.
They really put their mind to it.
They just wildly crazy amounts of evolution happening. I mean, we are talking X-Men level evolution.
Dan, anything's possible with God.
Well, again, they're trying to avoid just saying Jesus magic. Yeah. They're trying to say, no, science.
Well, but there's also... Now, this is one of the more surprising and laughable beliefs of Ken Ham.
Right.
Which is, they have dinosaur... They have model, like they have their figure, not figurines, they're full size mock-ups of dinosaurs
on the ark.
On the Ark Encounter.
Because here's the problem. He's saying that the fossils that we find in the ground occurred after the flood.
Yes.
The flood was what actually embedded them into the ground.
So why not let them all die during the flood?
Except that,
so that
God
they could be buried.
God said all of the animals.
Yeah. I mean,
so he had to get them all, every existing animal in Noah's time.
Has he ever seen dinosaurs? They're huge. Or some of them are huge.
Well, as you and I learned when we went to the Creation Museum in Dallas. Not the Creation Museum, but a museum created by some creationists.
Yeah.
At a
little Bible college.
Bible college in Dallas. And they follow the Ken Ham sort of model really well. But as they said, baby dinosaurs aren't huge. baby dinosaurs are little. So you can get a lot more of them on there.
Oh, my God. That's a really good point.
Boom! Boom, baby. They figured it out. It's all babies. It's the cutest ark of them all.
It's the baby ark. It's like the...
And of course, the mommy and daddy dinosaurs are going to let you take the babies.
Oh, well, yeah, because
Jesus magic.
Jesus magic.
Right. I just think it's great. Just to give you guys a sense of this thing, of this ark encounter. 510 feet long, 85 feet wide, and 81 feet high.
Put this into terms of football fields, because that's what people seem to always
It's
like,
1.5
gravitate toward.
football fields, is that right?
Somewhere around there.
Because 100 yards is a football field.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, about
Plus a little bit for the end zones. and
yeah.
whatnot, you know.
It's about a football field and a half-ish
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I don't know all the ins and outs of. Do you use just the? Anyway,
It's huge. It's a
huge.
very big boat that, according to almost every shipwright in the world, could never have sailed.
Yeah.
The largest boat ever built of wood was not even close to this size, and it
Promptly sank.
Twisted so much as it floated that it like would let on water, and they could never get on because it would leak. Because of the twisting. There was too much twisting in every direction.
Yeah, of course.
So it would take on water, and then eventually it sank and killed
Again, though,
everybody.
Jesus with this, you know.
Well, Jesus gave him the engineering skills.
Lost skills, apparently.
Right, well-
these are godly skills.
And of course,
Never to be replicated again.
the tools that were used, though Bronze Age, were perfectly sufficient
Well, yeah.
for one man and maybe his sons to build this, even though it cost... How much did it cost to make that thing?
This one?
Yeah,
It's like 100 and something million, right?
It was in the let's see.
It's actually not in this article, surprisingly.
I'm on the
pulled up.
Wikipedia page. I'm seeing oh no, that's how much they expect to make. You're never going to make that much money, Ken Ham.
The tax incentives that they received from the state of Kentucky
Right.
were $18 million over 10 years.
Yeah, so
and then the total cost, the first phase of construction on the park cost $100 million.
Right.
Total cost will reach more than $150 million. Funded through bonds and $33 million in private donations.
It does seem to me like maybe if it takes somebody who has access to all the modern technology in the world,
Yeah.
if it takes them hundreds of millions of dollars to build this thing,
Well, and how many man hours were put on this?
yeah, thousands of hundreds of workers, thousands of man hours.
thing? Yeah.
Maybe you're actually hurting your own case. if you're going to build a thing that's that hard to make, and you're just
yeah.
going to show us how hard it is to make something like
And
this,
that's the thing, isn't it? Isn't it amazing? Once you make it real, right? Now you can tangibly start to pick the thing apart.
right?
Because before then, like, this is his best example of what the Ark was.
This is
it.
as good as it's going to get. Like
Ever.
this is the best defense he's going to get.
Yes. And now you get real world pick aparts,
Right.
such as, well, was this amount of wood available in these sort of sizes for these beams?
Right.
In such abundance in the region where Noah would have built
Right.
the Ark?
Right. A region, the Middle
Could
East.
he have moved these massive logs?
Yeah, the timber on this thing is impressive. He did make the structure largely out of wood, although he used modern construction techniques, which include non-wood things.
Are there like metal like brackets and
Yeah,
whatnot,
obviously.
holding shit together?
Yeah, he's not like using
This isn't
wooden
just
pins.
dowels?
It's not.
You
Yeah,
didn't just make this with dowels
it's not just. Yeah,
and dovetailing
right.
the pieces together?
Yeah.
No, come on. No. I trust Ken Ham. Dan.
To have used good carpentry joinery
Yeah.
in order to
This is
no.
This building, by the way, Dan, is the largest freestanding timber frame structure in the world. Now, of course, that's according to Ark Encounter, so it's not totally trustworthy source.
I believe it. It's enormous, and it's made of wood. That's the real achievement here. Is he made a big thing out of wood?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty impressive. Now it's timber framed. That doesn't mean it doesn't have like
concrete footings and whatnot.
All sorts of things. Yeah, this is not. We should emphasize this is not a boat.
Right.
There's nothing about this that is a boat. It is on dry land. It was made to only be on dry land.
Yeah.
He did not make a boat.
This isn't on like a dry dock somewhere and they're going to fill it up.
No.
And test it. See how seaworthy it might be.
Right. Yes.
For a year.
The sea around it is a sea of automobiles in their parking lot.
I do like the pond that they put in right next to it. Oh. So you could sort of imagine.
They should sell little arcs that you can put into the pond.
Remote control arcs.
Yeah, little
like a
just sort of cutting through the pond.
Yeah, those would tip over.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they could make mini arcs that could be seaworthy.
Doubtful.
We'll see.
Anyway, Dan.
Oh, yes?
Oh, I was just going to say, one of the amazing features of the Ark is that they're able to sort of imagine what the living conditions might have been.
Oh.
Not just for the animals, Dan.
Oh, no. There were, 8 people?
There were 8 people who had to live for a year. Right.
This is a year's worth of travel on a boat filled with animals.
They have dioramas, right, that they've set up. So you don't just see the living space, but there are mannequins, right?
Oh, of humans.
Of humans.
Yes.
Representing the 8 passengers and what they might have been up to.
Sure.
While on the boat.
Yeah.
On the Ark. And this one I absolutely adore. We have a woman on the ground sitting at something that looks like a little table that might have been picked up at Pier 1.
Okay.
Which is fascinating. She's working on some ceramics.
Oh yeah.
She's painting a ceramic vase. I'm going to assume her husband is the man who's standing over in the corner, playing a flute. Like instrument,
like you do.
There's like a daybed against the wall with throw pillows.
It's tastefully decorated. That's what you're getting at.
Yeah, there's fine linens all around them. I love the lattice work on the windows. It's actually quite nice. They have decorations on the wall. They have sort of a hanging rug on the wall. They have a lot of potted plants around. She's sitting actually on kind of sort of a Persian-looking rug. It's just lovely. The accommodations were fantastic.
I've got a picture here. I'm looking at a picture of a man working metal on board the boat.
No,
he's got a mallet and he's currently working metal on a makeshift anvil. I assume that he must have a fire. In order to do that?
Again, by making it real, you now have to ask yourself about the fire on this all-wooden vessel.
Right, yes. He has fire burning hot enough that he can work metal with it. Well, that sounds safe.
Well, and it's just like this woman with the vase. Unless she, put these in the kiln before she got on the boat. Now she's just spending her time painting them.
Right.
Right. Hot oven as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Gotta have some good food.
And I mean, for Christ's sake,
yeah,
they had to have water for a year.
They have answers to all of these questions, like where does the poop go? They have actually a little demonstration of what could have possibly been the way that they extracted the animal poop from the Ark.
But they threw it over the side, I assume.
Oh, they've got. I can't even make out exactly.
A greenhouse. They made manure and grew
solid waste removal. Yeah, they have a whole system. It's mechanical.
No.
They have mechanisms for the poop removal because that totally makes sense. Liquid waste removal, solid waste removal. They know how they did all of it. And
what about drinking water though? Seriously, they're out on what I presume to be a body of ocean water.
Let me remind you, it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. All you got to do is put out your rain collection in your pot.
And then have enough water to last you the rest of the year.
Right.
While you're floating around.
Yeah. I think they had a mechanical issue, mechanical solution to that as well. I think it's all just mechanical. They had, purification systems, obviously.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So they drank their own urine? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, they drank the animal's urine.
Oh, there would be a lot of it, I suppose.
Yeah, once it goes
what
through
did the animals drink?
Shut up. The animals drank shut the fuck up, Frank.
This isn't just enough water just for the 8 human beings.
Right,
it's
no.
enough water for every animal, like
Everything.
You've
got to feed 2 of every kind of animal
that you crammed onto this humongous thing.
Right.
That would break apart instantly.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, Dan.
He
never should have built it.
He never should have built it. He's basically built a thing where he's basically dared the world to believe this now.
Right.
I dare you to believe this.
Right.
Here's another fun little thing. Of course, what he wants for this, what Mr. Ham wants for this thing, is for everybody to come and believe it. And who's going to be the most likely to believe when they come to this? The children.
Yeah, but we were talking about this earlier, Dan. All children hit an age where they begin to pick apart and ask really hard questions about the Ark story.
Right.
Little children are smart enough to see all of the problems with the story.
Right. How did they get all the animals? Well, here's the thing. This encounter answers children questions.
Oh, really?
Like it has answers for all of the questions. They're just not good answers.
Okay.
But they're good enough for a kid.
Okay, such as?
Well, just like, the poo removal thing and like, they show cages, and apparently they have like all of these cages that you can't actually see into, but you hear animal noises coming from up out of them.
Yeah, nice.
And that's how they present it, so that they don't have to represent every single kind of animal. They're like, no, look, they're all in these cages. You just can't see that they're all there, but ask me an animal. Just ask me any animal. Toucan? That's in that cage over there.
An anteater.
It's right over here. They're all there, but you can't see them. Anyway, here's the thing. Knowing this, the FFRF, protector of non-believers everywhere, has sent out a letter to over 1,000 public school districts
in the region
saying, by the way, you can't take kids here, right? You know that you're not allowed to take kids. Like, the parents can take them, their church groups can take them, any number of groups can take kids to the Ark Encounter. But public schools, you can't do this, right?
But and if you do, the wrath
of the FFRF will
come down on your heads.
They're genuinely trying to head this off at the pass, but obviously it's going to be a problem. This is a stated ministry. This Ark Encounter is a ministry. It is a missionary tool. It is not anything
educational.
Else. Right.
It doesn't pass muster.
No.
So.
And so yes, the FFRF has they've gone out of their way to be like, just remember, public schools, here's a quote from their letter. Public schools cannot organize trips for students to either the Creation Museum or the Ark Park. Doing so would violate the students' rights of conscience and the Constitution. They're as overt as they can be on this, because
there will be a school there.
It's going to
guarantee you in the next 6 months.
If it hasn't already happened,
there's going to be a story.
Plans are in the works.
Yeah.
I mean, it's summertime, so most of the schools are out of session, but
what about
plans are in the works.
Yeah, no.
Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, all these school districts are planning trips.
Yeah.
To the Ark.
Just glorious. It's going to be amazing, Dan.
Oh, good
amazing.
Lord.
What a wonderful experience for these kids.
Well, if you get to Grant County, Kentucky, everybody, go check it out. I don't care if they get your $10 or whatever. Go see it. Post some pics on the Members Only Lounge. Stupid.
All right, Dan.
So stupid. Everything is stupid. If you guys have anything to say about if you've been to the Ark, write to us.
Send us photos.
Write to us, podcast at thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can call and leave us a voicemail message and tell us all about it. The number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah, keep that going. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
Or, while on Facebook, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join.
Right.
It's a closed group,
Yeah.
so you have to wait for us to let you in.
Yep. Yeah. So hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. I got to thank the Red Rock Hot Club for the use of their fine music,
And thanks to Mackenzie for all the help on Facebook.
and thank you, dear listeners, for believing in Noah's Ark. We sure do appreciate it.
Bye-bye!